Brandon, Brice, and welcome. The show is The Brice is Right. Today, folks, we're talking about some amazing things because I said so. That's what we do here at The Brice is Right. I've got in studio my guy, my good friend, my ace boon, DJ Rodney Day, all the way from Toronto, not Toronto, Kentucky, Toronto, Ontario. Rodney, welcome to the Brice is Right podcast.
Brandon, it is a pleasure and honor and a privilege being here. Thank you for inviting me on the show this Friday.
So, folks, before we get into it, I just got to say, if you get an opportunity, read this book. Yes, I'm promoting it. It's by Stefan Szymanski. It's called The City of Champions. That's right, champions, meaning Detroit. And it talks about Ty Cobb and Henry Ford and Joe Louis. Check it out. It's the Detroit of all Detroit books. That's right, folks. We read in this town. But, folks, I want to go into it because I've got some stuff I want to talk about. We had one guest, and apparently I guess they got scared to come. But I want to talk to you about there is a report that says that COVID service members are saying no to the vaccine. Now, this is interesting because, you know, they're saying, well, the vaccine, it's here, it's going to save us and all this other stuff. And some folks in the military are saying, nope, I don't think so. Let me ask you this. Right now, when you see that service military men are saying, I don't want the vaccine.
Right.
What does this mean? And, are they in the right? Or, military men are supposed to take orders. Your thoughts?
That's kind of tough to think about, Brandon. Because a lot of people are really hesitant to take this vaccine. My mother had COVID. She just took the vaccine. And I was kind of like leery about maybe that's not something that she should potentially be doing because of just the side effects. People are having Bell's palsy. People are dying.
Right.
I think the numbers were, I took a look at it last week. I think it was about 997 people passed away from the vaccine. And I think that was out of maybe 40,000 people. Those are small numbers, but there's still a potential risk of somebody passing away or getting some form of side effect.
Folks, I want to hear from you. Call into the show, but before we do, I got to pay the bills. You're watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world, because of yours truly. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Periscope, and all those. Please like and share, comment, all that stuff. If you want to call in at our number, WJZZ. Throw me the number, throw me the digits. And we're still waiting on the digits to come. All right, 313. There we go. 313
right on time.
355-6018. Call in to the Brice is Right. It's like Jesus. He may not call when you come, but you're always on time. So, folks, I want to go. This is serious stuff because, let me ask you this. Canada has virtually said in so many words, don't come across the border.
Right.
We don't want you here.
It makes sense.
Is Canada doing the things that maybe the U.S. Should have done a little earlier, or do we have the vaccine? Are we ready to go back to life as we knew it?
Life as we know it, Brandon, I don't think that's something that's potentially ever going to happen again. I think for the next 3 to 5 years, I think we're going to have maybe potential lockdowns, maybe potential shutdowns. More instances where we have certain restrictions on these different types of strains that are new and upcoming. I think Canada took the right approach as far as protecting their people. Their numbers are very, very low as opposed to the United States. Over here, we potentially don't really give a damn. We want to go maskless. We still want to go ahead and have our bars.
Let me tell you what I saw. I saw when the COVID numbers were increasing and, CNN said, oh, my God. I saw folks at the beach, folks in the clubs.
Yeah.
I saw it.
It was a regular day.
It was a regular day. And I said, wait a minute.
People was partying out on Jefferson.
Partying like 1999.
Yeah.
And so, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Because I said to myself, maybe... and listen, you never know. You couldn't pay me to be in leadership right now.
No.
Because, regardless, and I don't care if you're the mayor, the governor, the president, regardless, we're dealing with something that we have not dealt with since 1918.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is serious stuff. I want to segue a little bit more. They said that I was reading the New York Times, liberal publication, if you didn't know, and it said that Miami to use federal aid for new rent assistance for 1 year. Mm-hmm. Now, you own property.
Absolutely.
Lots of it.
Yes.
Waiting for your check.
Mm-hmm.
That was a joke.
Yeah.
I didn't catch it
because they've been late lately, so that ain't funny to me, Brandon.
But no. But this is interesting because there's talking about the city of Miami is paying the rent of those Miami inhabitants for up to 1 year. Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you this. Is that feasible for other cities like Detroit, Chicago, Philadelphia, New York to do that same thing?
I think something needs to potentially happen here, Brandon. There's a lot of landlords who are hurting. I'm an Allstate insurance agent. I've got tons of landlords who have landlord property insurance with me, and all of them are telling me, either the rent's late or it's half of, or maybe nothing at all. So, these people are still carrying mortgages. I'm still carrying mortgages on a couple of my properties that I have rented out to tenants. Fortunately, I'm not one to rent to low-income tenants, so I don't do maybe any Section 8 properties. I'm fortunate.
But why is that?
Just because that's not my business model. I just want to rent to people who can necessarily afford to pay the property necessarily. Because I don't want to put myself in any given situation.
So here's what's interesting about that, DJ Rodney Day, the coolest DJ in the world. This is interesting because we always hear from the tenant, but we often never hear from the leasee, the leaseor. So this is an interesting topic when we talk about, the fact that, leaseors have rights too. Landowners have rights too.
Let's talk about black landlords. How about that?
Talk to me. That's why we're on here. Talk to me.
We're hurting out there. Brandon. We look out for these a lot of our folks. I have an older tenant that I have. I feel bad for her, but she's in a position where she does get some type of pension and some type of aid. But I really didn't bang her over the head and say, hey, you know what, you got to pay this rent at the end of the month, and this is what you do. I actually had a work agreement that I was able to come up with her, something that was conducive and, not necessarily going to hurt her at the end of the day.
Let me ask you this. So let's say cities start to pay up to 1 year.
Yes.
What happens if COVID doesn't go away?
And
1 year, and 1 year becomes 2 years, and 2 years becomes 3 years.
Well, you're going to have a lot of people going to be losing out their properties. You're going to have a lot of people having liability claims against landlords because they're not taking care of the potential properties at all. There's going to be some issues with code and restrictions with civil municipalities. Something has to happen where we're not necessarily going to be...
Wait, Cameron wants to talk? No, I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Something has to happen where we're not going to be left out. Landlords are being left out. There needs to be some type of tax incentive, some type of deduction at the end of the year where we can write off and, have some type of write-off for us, have some form of benefit because we're getting screwed at the end of the day.
Let me ask you this. And this is interesting because I think COVID has brought out a couple of things. COVID has brought out the fact that, one, it's exposing the things that we already knew, but we didn't want to talk about.
What's that, Brandon?
That's the fact that folks, literally, we had some people who were already hanging on.
Absolutely.
And COVID just took them right over.
Yeah.
This is interesting. We got a couple minutes before we take a quick break. I want to get into, the fact that now the city of Detroit is talking about changing. You're a Detroiter. What does that mean for, you are a DJ, world-renowned DJ. You are a business owner.
Absolutely.
Your wife is a business owner. What does that mean for, is this the beginning of the middle class coming back or not?
I would probably say potentially no. It's actually a scary time, I would say, in America right now because, we've already had this topic of discussion in the past. Where is the middle class? Where is it? You got a lot of people losing jobs right now. the rich keep on getting richer and the poor keep on getting poor. But I'm a middle class person like myself, and I mean times are tough. I probably lost about revenues of $60,000 last year.
Wow.
And I don't really think potentially I'm going to get that back necessarily this year. I mean, I'm one who hustles, I'm one who grinds, but you definitely have to make some adjustments and some changes and some pivots as far as your avenues, as far as who you're reaching towards your marketing. I mean, the whole game has changed the dynamics, period, on who you're reaching for customers and just how to get money potentially and survive.
So this is unique because now as we see businesses shutting down, some are growing. Yeah. There was an article earlier that talked about apparently a place called, and I want to get this right for you folks out there listening, Pitch Black Dining. Have you heard of this restaurant?
I did hear about that actually.
Now Pitch Black, folks, let me get this straight. Okay, first of all, Pitch Black is a dining experience where you eat, but you can't see what you're eating. This is unique because most people like to see what they're eating.
That steak is gonna take a little bit different
the steak that you can't see. But this is interesting because now this is a restaurant that some of those folks who identify as being handicapped are saying, hey, this is exposing people to what we experience. And I think it's kind of cool.
You think it's cool?
I think it's kind of cool.
I just think about it going back in the day when times was tough, when DTE was cut off. We was eating
when DTE gets cut, hey, you know what? We've been experiencing, hey, what's that? I don't know, but it tastes good.
Right.
This is interesting. But check it out, folks. It's called Pitch Black. It's a new restaurant coming into the city of Detroit.
Let me ask you a question, Brandon. Are you going to go ahead and check it out?
I'm going to check it out.
I think I'm going to check it out.
But this time, I'm going to bring my camera phone, so I can put it on it and say, okay, let me make sure these ribs are actually ribs.
Oh, that's...
this ain't no vegan stuff. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to get into the conversation on working remote. Apparently, folks are saying, you know what? You're at home, stay at home. When we come back on the Brice is Right, roll it.
That's pretty good.
So you gotta get the music with you. No. All right, we gonna come back.
They can call into the station, right?
Yeah, they can call in. But we just keep talking. Folks, we are back. Once again, this is the Brice is Right podcast with my main man all the way from Toronto, DJ Rodney D, the Soca Man, the man of Cardinal Official. What else happened in Toronto? Caravana Festival, all that stuff.
Yeah,
but folks, I want to go into a different topic. There was a topic today in Bloomberg that talked about working the remote Salesforce tower. They're saying that apparently, is it okay to stay at home and work? Listen, I've had to do it. I don't like it. I like to be at work. But let me ask you this, Rodney. And you've pretty much been an entrepreneur for a while. What does it mean that, 6 months ago they told folks work from home. Now it appears folks may never go back into the office.
Absolutely.
Is that something to be, nervous about? Is that an example of the times? Your thoughts?
Well, first, Brandon, it hasn't been 6 months. It's almost been a year now.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, and I actually had the pleasure of working from home because, I do work. I have a job, and I do run a few businesses. So I did have the pleasure of working from home for about 3 months, and I didn't like it.
I didn't either.
I thought I was not being productive as I could be.
Let me tell you what happened. I would be at home typing my Excel documents, for my 9 to 5.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And literally, Sanford and Son would come on.
Right.
And I would say, oh man, I got to pick between, I got to pick between Sanford and Son and, crunching numbers. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, man.
That's
And then,
hard-
wait,
that's
if
hard
it didn't work, if it didn't make matters worse, I'm sitting here, I got my laptop out, I'm watching Sanford and Son,
Right.
and then I get hungry.
That's multitasking.
So
right
then
there.
I said, man, what do I want to eat?
You done put on that COVID.
Then I could put on COVID 25.
Me too.
So then I go back into the kitchen, and I say, okay, this is going to take about 15, 20
Right.
minutes.
Absolutely, yeah.
And now I'm sitting there, and I done lost an hour.
Yeah, yeah.
And I said, this is a problem for us folks with, ADHD. I got it. I'm guilty.
Yeah.
Who are easily distracted.
Absolutely.
Because now I'm sitting back and I'm saying, how can I, if I were in the office, I wouldn't be doing this.
No.
Folks, we got to pay the bills real quick. You are watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. Cooler than a polar bear's toenails. Oh, hell.
That's cool.
Streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope. Please like, subscribe, share to your friends, all that good stuff. Let's get back to this. So I actually realized a long time ago, I said, listen, I will fight the COVID, Mr. COVID himself, in the office. I like being in the office.
Right. I do too. I mean, like to touch back on what you said. I mean, I'm in my drawers. I'm at the computer.
That's too much. That's TMI, man. Too much.
I
I don't know about your drawers and your dirty ditties, man. That's for your wife to know, man. I didn't know that on the Brice, right? What's wrong with y'all? I'm
just saying. I mean, but I mean, a couple things happened, Brandon. I mean, not to get too personal, but when I was at home, I'm not wearing shoes. I'm not wearing dress socks. My feet got dry, and it was just all of a sudden, my whole body just started going through some different changes fundamentally because I'm not going out, I'm not getting sunlight, I'm not experiencing maybe necessarily talking to people casually and interacting with folks daily. So I got a little bit depressed, and obviously I gained some weight through the process. And I don't think I'm the only one who's dealing with it. I mean, listen,
I've seen.
I mean, I'm just being honest.
Hold on. I've seen some
my feet
folks.
got ashy. I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm gonna tell you. I've seen some folks. Listen, I seen some folks who literally before they went in, looked like She-Ra.
Absolutely.
And came out looking like Wolverine. Ooh. I mean, it's the COVID really did. I mean, it messed up folks' psyches.
Hey, that press and curl just wasn't a curl, right?
And I'm gonna tell you something. There's press and go, not press and curl. Press and dip, dip out on you. But no. But this is interesting. Wait, this is interesting, DJ Rodney, because what I've learned is that when you're at work, it's a socialization thing.
Absolutely.
No different than when you go to school. People that homeschool.
Yeah.
It's good to work from home and mommy is, teaching you the A's and B's. But it's something about being with students. It's something about, having your first fight, your first kiss. These are things that make you grow.
Let's talk about that, Brandon, because my son has always been a straight A student. I mean, it's his first year of high school, and this time around for his report card, he came around with all F's.
Whoa.
And I was just like, is this my fault? And I mean,
whoa.
And his mom is a school teacher, master's degree.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that she's not doing anything right, but it made you say, And I asked a couple other people who were, if they were experiencing the same thing. They said yes. I mean, because the work has been hard for the students, and obviously you're talking about distractions. I mean.
You're talking about the virtual learning.
I'm talking about the virtual learning.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the kids have cell phones. I'm pretty sure they're on the internet, and I'm pretty sure that they're not paying attention in the virtual learning class.
Check that internet.
I had a virtual learning class.
Check that internet. Make sure it's not players.com on there. Check that internet. Y'all know about Jet Beauty of the Week page.
Hey, I might have to let my son get away with that.
Page 16. Y'all know about that. Don't get new. Don't get fresh. No. But this is serious, though.
Absolutely.
This is serious because, DJ Rodney, this is something that, I'm asking the question is that we assume that most people have the internet.
Yes.
As crazy as that sounds in 2021,
right.
We still got a large chunk of the population that does not have the internet.
They don't.
But then the schools are expecting them to and acting as if they should.
Right.
So there's a digital divide.
There is, yeah.
That exists, and how do we fix it?
I don't know. I mean, I'm glad you brought up the digital divide because my mom, in her school, she said she had a couple parents who gave the school gave the kids iPads, but they would bring them back broke. So
or sold. Folks taking their kids' iPads and selling them for I mean this is a crisis, folks. I call in. I want to hear from you. I mean, we're talking about, are you comfortable with learning and doing everything from home? 313-355-6018. I want to hear from you. 313-355-6018. We're talking about working from home or learning from home. I mean, I hate it. I'll be the first to say I'm old school. Take me back to when I would go in and be running 5 to 10 minutes late, trying to rush in to get in and conference meetings. And I love the socialization.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a personal, especially I'm a sales guy naturally. So, I mean, I talk on the phone, but I really like to interact with my customers. I mean, just to portray whatever presentations that I have.
Absolutely.
It's not the same feeling.
It's not the same. And then, also there's this, it's interesting because I find myself, I have, my dad, he, thank God, neither one of my parents got the COVID. Mm-hmm. But the media, and I want to get into that, they've done a job on people's fears. I mean, people really are scared.
Well, they should be scared, Brandon. I know 15 people who personally died from COVID. I mean, another 40 who were, sick.
And so the question is, this is one time that we should not allow the government or politicians to federalize, to politicize.
Absolutely.
We need facts, folks.
Right.
I mean, this is how serious it is. Let me ask you this. I want to segue a little bit because this leads me to something else. Mr. Bean, I'm a Mr. Bean fan, the man that doesn't talk, he actually said something, ironically. And what he said that he compares the cancel culture to medieval mobbing.
Mr. Bean, that's my boy.
And I thought that was so profound coming from somebody that doesn't talk.
Yeah.
He made, if you guys have ever watched the Mr. Bean show, the man is freaking hilarious.
Yeah,
but he doesn't talk. Mm-hmm. But he talked today, and he actually said something that I agree with when he said that the cancel culture is like a, what did he say? He called it a medieval mob. Your thoughts on this? I mean, have we gone too far when it comes to this culture of cancel? If I don't agree, if I don't like it, shut it down, throw in the towel. There's no more.
Well, honestly, Brandon, there's definitely an agenda in this country. I mean, make no bones about it, whether it's COVID, whether it's Me Too, whether it's shutting or defeminizing the black man. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But when it comes to this Me Too movement, again, it's definitely an agenda. I think certain people should be given the benefit of the doubt on certain things. I mean, some of the people actually recovered, like Mel Gibson, for example. I think he said some racial things against the Jewish community, but I mean, he's back on directing and making some movies. I mean, he was canceled out for some years, maybe about a good 4 or 5 year span, but he's back doing his thing. The other guy, Kevin Spacey, actually, a good actor.
House of Cards, my show.
That's my show.
I love it, but there's something to the this cancel culture, and I think we need to be very clear on that.
Yeah.
Just because you don't agree doesn't mean it should be canceled.
No, some people get offended really easily.
It's the American way.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me the other day, DJ Rodney. They said, "What does the cancel culture mean to you? What does America mean to you?" And I thought about this, folks, because I like to be profound in what I say. I like to put it out there. And I thought, and I said, what makes America super great is when America is, you can be as crazy as you want, as weird as you want, and still be free.
Yeah.
That's America,
But that's
folks.
gone away, though.
Well, it's gone away for some folks.
We don't even have the right to say what we want to say necessarily without offending somebody.
It's gone away for some folks.
Yeah.
But this is interesting because this is now getting into the fact that, are we free? Does canceling the cancel culture mean that you're free? And I've got some concerns with that. Your thoughts?
Were we ever free, Bandit?
We were. before COVID, we were, Hey, listen,
there's definitely been a lot of restrictions.
I've seen some things in my life that would blow you a mile away. But that's okay, because I said, you know what? Even if I don't agree, we live in this experiment called the United States of America, and we're free.
Right.
We were free. We were free. Yeah, and that's true. We are a republic. We are not a democracy. We are a democratic republic, folks. Absolutely. You don't believe me? Read the Constitution.
Gotta read it.
So where do we go? I mean, right now, we're coming off. It's February 20. It's February 19th.
Years been going by fast.
Yeah, already. Crazy. We're having it. We got a new administration. We got all this new stuff. I mean, right now, when we talk about small business owners, I had a guy in here the other day who owned a crepe shop in Royal Oak. Okay. And literally, he said in a matter of 6 months, what was 10 businesses ended up being 3.
I believe it.
3 left.
I believe it.
And I sat back and I said, that's a crisis. Are we getting better? The governor said now that everybody, all the Democrats have won, and they can say kumbaya. And, now they're saying,
don't let me get started on that.
25%, we can come back. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, folks.
I know Brandon's leading this right here. Go
ahead, take me there.
First of all, Brandon, I'm not a Republican.
I'm not. This
nor
is
am I a Democrat.
This is
so
American values.
I just want to put this out there right there. Just be clear. Not a Republican nor a Democrat.
Oh, wait, hold on. We got the call on 313-355-6018. This is the Brice is Right, folks. If you've got a business and you've been impacted, call my show today. That's right. Call my show, because I want to hear from you. Because we don't want to hear from Lansing or Washington. We want to hear from Joe you or Joette you. I want to hear from you. Want to hear your thoughts. 313-355-6018. The Brice is Right. If you got a business and you've been impacted by COVID, call in and give me your thoughts. On to you. I mean, right now, where do we go? 25% business capacity. Is that even possible?
It's not possible. I mean, as a DJ, as a party promoter, nightlife concerts, there's no phantom way that I'm going to make any money, way, shape, or form this year as far as running those type of businesses. I mean, I've looked at pivoting. I've looked at doing more weddings, getting more bookings elsewhere. But as far as making money, promoting events, it's not going to happen.
So, because literally, let's be real. Your whole business is around entertainment.
Absolutely.
Which means you need people.
Yeah. And I think people will still come out because, like we said,
COVID with Caribbean soca, COVID with Carolina,
People still want to party, but 25% realistically, you're not going to make any money. That's sad.
Wow.
But let's talk about something, because you wanted to talk about the economy, and that's when I said that, I'm not a Republican or Democrat. The economy is hurting right now. The forecast, I think, projections is it's definitely going to be really tough for business owners, especially with Joe Biden's new tax plan as far as raising the rate on business taxes again. Trump lowered those for a reason, so we can bring jobs back in corporate America. And I'm not a Trump supporter, so I don't want to get somebody calling up here and say, hey, this and that, because you got to really listen to understand.
Let me ask you this, because we've had it on our show where we had people come in. I'm for the Donald. What do you think Donald Trump's legacy will be? Because he's out, he's gone. Democrats control everything.
He was for the businesses and not for the people.
Okay. Part of me said, I don't necessarily disagree, but I think this is interesting, because when we talk about things like, the fact that now more folks are staying home.
Yeah.
We've got more people, more than ever, who are working virtual.
Yeah, absolutely.
My mom works virtual. This is a whole new world, and somebody's getting paid. Now, let me ask you this.
It kind of sounds like Fahrenheit 9/11.
Yeah,
check out the movie in the book.
Fahrenheit 9/11. For folks who actually read, there's a book by by Kirk Vonnegut, actually, called Fahrenheit 9/11. If you 411 911 Fahrenheit 911. But it's a book about what happens when it actually becomes against the law to read. This is as crazy as it sounds. This is interesting, folks, because now social media is no longer your friend. Social media is starting to take the tasks that if it doesn't agree with what you think, they're going to shut you down. But we can put a stop to it here on The Brice is Right. So let me ask you this. I mean, right now, when you hear what's happening, you've got Jeff Bezos, I believe now the second richest man in the world.
Yeah, I think it was the first. Elon Musk.
I think Elon does it.
I think he's giving some money
so
away.
Elon, Bill Gates,
yeah. It's probably Bill Gates right now
third,
with his
second, first,
pushing.
who knows?
Yeah.
But now what's interesting is that Jeff Bezos is literally talking about, and I actually got the facts to read it here, on that good old thing called Google. Jeff Bezos wants to end the mail system as we've known it for hundreds of years and offer Amazon as the next plateau to receive your mail. Is that a good thing or not? And if not, why?
I think it's a monopoly, and, I hate to say it. I mean, it's sad what's going on in Amazon right now. I mean, they're putting a lot of businesses out. I mean, malls are becoming dinosaurs.
Yeah.
The corner stores that used to be
bodegas.
This and that.
Oh, wait. Nothing can stop a good bodega salami sandwich.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry. Amazon's not touching that. Not all in that.
Not right now.
Not right now. When Amazon starts to cut hair and offer salami and ham sandwiches, then that's going to be...
Then we're going to have a problem.
We're going to have a big problem. We're going to have a great big problem. But this is interesting because, Amazon is, it's making life much easier, but there's a cost that comes with that.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, how is that cost impacting the average small businessman like you or anyone else?
The type of business I am in is service orientated, so it's not really affecting me as directly. But again, I know a lot of people who are dealing with businesses such as, they have the clothing business.
Hold on, folks. We got to pay the bills real quick. You are watching WJZZ, the coolest TV station in the world, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and... yeah, so I mean, this is interesting that now we're talking about, we've got a situation because we've got the billionaires, we've got, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, who said, he wants to buy up all our farmland.
Yeah, he's doing that now.
And that's a problem.
Yeah,
and then we've got Jeff Bezos that is saying, ultimately, I want to be responsible for giving you your mail.
No, I don't want to take it to all subject, Brandon. This is totally off subject. Conspiracy theories. But it's funny how Bill Gates is buying up, 40% of the farmland in the United States, and then he wants to fly a plane over the atmosphere and sprinkle dust to not let the sun come in. I think that's kind of odd.
This reminds me of that guy that just kept getting picked on when he was, 12 and bullied, and now he's like, oh, I've got the power to take over. But anyway, so this is interesting because now what we're seeing is, this nation is supposed to be run by the American people. As much as a wealth promoter I'm for, it seems like the billionaires are taking over.
Oh, well, that's been going on for years.
But it wasn't public.
It wasn't public.
There's
been
folks,
a lot of lobbying going on since wire money now has, transfers. There's paper trails that you can say, follow the money, and I'll show you the results, that way people vote.
All right, folks, all about the Benjamins. We're going to take a quick break. We got to pay the bills. This is the Brice is Right. I'm your people's champ, Brandon Brice. We'll be right back. Roll us out.
Will it be?
Oh, boy.
Man, you on to something right there, Brice. You on to something.
You want water?
No, I got water.
You got water. Okay. All right. All right, folks, we are back. This is The Brice is Right. I'm your host, the people's champ, Brandon Brice. And, folks, we're here with DJ Rodney Day all the way from Toronto, oh Canada, hey! All right, yeah, I had to do some Canadian jokes on there, but this is interesting. Let me read this. I was reading Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal. Yes, I do read the Wall Street Journal, and there's an interesting article in there. Dave Ramsey, Mad Money host, actually said that he's against the stimulus checks because if $600 or $1,400 changes your life, you were pretty screwed. This is an interesting comment because he's taking some backlash for this.
Yeah.
Your thoughts? Is he right? Is he wrong?
I think he's wrong. I mean, sometimes $600 or $1,400 or whatever amount of money that's given to somebody, that could be an opportunity for somebody to pick up their bootstraps and get where they need to go. I mean, I took a $200 job as far as test. I mean, to get a certificate to sell insurance, and I turned that $200 into six-figure income. So, I mean,
I need your financial advice.
Man, that's hard work. That's what it's called.
Hey.
It's called. I try to pay attention, and attention paid me. That's all.
Okay.
So, I mean, you do those types of things, and I mean, sometimes it's just the little things. I mean, it's $50 to start a business, an LLC. It's $50 to get an S corporation. So, I mean, it's not hard. The people just got to have the know-how to have the opportunity to do it. It's $8 to have a website host.
Why don't more
$40
people
to get a website? So it's not hard.
So it's cheaper to get to start an LLC.
It's cheaper to start a business than it is to go in and punch a clock every day, Brandon.
Why don't most Americans know that?
Because most Americans don't like hard work. We don't like to work. We don't like to sweat.
Yeah, you hit something. Sweat equity, folks.
Sweat equity.
But so when he says this statement, I thought about that, and it reminded me of something that really hit home when you start talking about the fact that people are saying, that if you are waiting on $600, you really need to check your finances.
I mean, you do.
And that tells me, and maybe it's selfish to say, but that tells me, are we literally one paycheck away from being on the streets?
I don't think so, Brandon. I think it's a lack of. I think most bank balances right now in America are probably in the negative.
You talking about that thing that when you keep getting the overdraft fees?
Well, and the little credit,
you think you got a will and a person you got a won't. This. I can actually remember there were times I would go to the ATM.
Yeah.
And literally had to pray there was some money in that bank account.
I remember.
And I said, hey, sometimes the ATM said, hey, I'll spot you something. Sometimes the ATM said, man, go home.
You're right. Yeah.
And I said, hey, date's over. But this is interesting. This is interesting because now what we're seeing is the country's tight.
Yeah.
Folks are broke. And, Dave Ramsey, when he made that statement, I think the challenge is it really hit home the fact that literally we've got people barely holding on.
Absolutely. I mean, talk about Dave Ramsey. How about the mayor's comment in Texas about...
you mean the mayor that said, I quit?
Yeah. I mean, talking about, he said, people got to be put to work. I forgot what he said, but I mean, obviously the story in Texas, 30% of the people don't have power.
But hold on. And we're going to get on Texas. Yeah. We're going to close on that. But it's interesting because I have never seen a mayor on the air say, I quit.
Was he a Democrat or Republican?
Well, probably Democrat. but wait. But this is interesting because this is interesting. Yeah. This is interesting because what that said to me is that's I've seen all kinds of stuff in 2020 that I have never seen probably in my lifetime. And literally, I mean, it's gotten to the point where and you can't pay me to be a mayor, governor, president right now because it doesn't matter what you do. Right. It doesn't matter what you're going to always have someone pointing the finger.
Absolutely. Shouts out to Police Commissioner Willie Burton right now. He's tuning in too right now.
Oh, yeah. Tune in. Willie, we'll have you on next week, actually. But this is it. So now that brings me to Texas. What are they to do? I mean, they don't have power.
Yeah,
I mean power, and this is interesting because I question, roll the call-in numbers. I question, do we have, when I get the digits up, I question, are we reliant enough on those individuals on power. I mean, I remember when we had the blackout.
Right.
And folks were losing their freaking minds.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was 2000,
2000.
Right?
I remember. I was at the mall, and I was trying on a pair of dress shoes, and the lights just went out.
Didn't come back.
And for a minute, I said, well, wait a minute. I'm not paying a company that can't keep his lights on.
Right.
Then the lights were off throughout the whole mall. I said, wait a minute. Is this the rapture? But wait a minute. I said, wait a minute. But I know some people who shouldn't be that are still here. So I said, it ain't the rapture.
Y2K, right?
Y2K. Y2K. So then I said, I walked out and I noticed it was throughout the entire region. And it was interesting because what I also noticed that night, I have never seen so many backyard barbecues in my life.
And I seen neighbors I have never even seen.
Neighbors came out.
Yeah.
You know, the rib tips came out.
Yeah, absolutely.
All this, I mean, people were literally saying, I think it lasted for about a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But people were literally saying they were going to make the best out of a bad situation.
Absolutely.
But here's the catch. What happens when the blackout goes for a month? Goes for 2 months? Are we prepared?
No, we're not.
You know, I saw a film the other day. I was at home with my feet propped up in my Oral Bacher, popcorn.
Right.
And I watched a film called The Stand. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a great film.
I've seen that.
Stephen King. But it literally got into, what happens, and I asked the question. I want to ask you folks out there listening, what happens when you don't have power for 30 days?
That's a long
60
time.
days,
Yeah.
90 days.
Right.
Is America prepared for that?
Absolutely not, Brandon. I mean, people don't know how to respond now in the crises that we're in. I mean, they don't want to wear masks. That's number one.
They don't want to take showers.
They don't want to take.
Some of y'all ain't sure.
If I could still smell you under the mask,
That's right. Some of y'all ain't sure. Hey, y'all need, Old Spice, New Spice, your Spice. You need something.
The spice.
Some of y'all, little musty do.
Man.
But this is interesting because, this challenges the fact. And folks, I want you to call in 313. I went for my call-in numbers, but I want you to call in because I want to ask: are we prepared? 313-355-6018. Is America prepared to deal with the things that we take for granted, like energy, like lights, like power? I mean, it's scary, like electricity. It's scary to think of all the things that are now connected by a computer.
Well, let me say
your
something.
Toilet, even.
Let me say something, Brandon. Canada right now has a lot of reliance on these solar windmills. You go down the 401 highway. When I remember they first came out a few years ago, maybe about 3 years ago, you would see maybe like 10 or 12. Now all of a sudden it's like blight on a highway where it used to be a field of crops. You now see about 20 or 30 of them. I mean, it does something to the land. It does something to the birds. I don't really think it's good. I think we need to definitely be a little bit more dependent on coal energy, some different forms of energy, because I don't think it's necessarily reliable, and plus it's too costly. It's too damn costly.
The energy issue, and I want to talk about this because when you think of places like Texas, this brings up the real challenge of energy, and it brings up the fact that we don't talk about energy. At least I don't think. Enough in this country,
especially black people,
black folks. But it impacts us.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, and maybe it's because in a lot of cases we got people get angry when you turn the heat on because that's another bill.
Right.
But we need to talk about it because I think who's to say that our grids are secure.
Well, I mean, a lot of people. I mean, it's tough right now. Who's going on in Texas because a lot of the furnaces are out, but I'm pretty sure some of the people can put their gas on. Put the oven on. Hopefully, they got some carbon monoxide detectors to heat their home.
Well, here's the problem, though.
But that's surviving right there.
Here's the problem, though. Wait. Here's the problem, though. There are people that I'm hearing and reading about and seeing on CNN and Fox and MSNBC that are sitting in their cars and are being impacted by the carbon monoxide. You can't stay in your car for a long periods of time.
Right.
And so this is interesting because first of all, let's address this issue. It's 30 degrees in Houston, Texas. 30 degrees in Houston, Texas.
That's cold for some Texans.
That's very cold. I mean, if anything, there's a business opportunity. If I had some trucks, I'd head to Tejas
right there. Give me some salt.
Hey, salt and water, shake it off. But this is interesting because now we're talking about survival. I was in Atlanta when Atlanta didn't know what to do when they had 2 inches of snow.
Yeah.
And so I think places like Detroit, New York, Minneapolis, Chicago, we're used to functioning in the snow.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Brandon, because I obviously this past week we had about 5 inches, 12 inches at least. I mean, I was out in Harper Woods, and I actually shoveled both of my neighbors' sidewalk with a snowblower. And I got a new neighbor. She's next door. She's from Florida. She was like, came over there crying damn near because she's like, oh my God, thank you. I was not prepared for this. Me and my husband, we don't even have
it's snow. Wait. And you said, wait. First of all,
and she said, do you do this often? I said, no, lady.
First of all, let's stop here. Let's dissect the situation.
Is pure Michigan,
wait. Let's dissect the situation. You moved to Michigan. You didn't expect it to snow.
Make it make sense.
And then here's what's worse about that. Here's what I'm gonna tell it like it is. Here's what's worse about that.
Yeah.
She had you come out, but not her own husband. Come on,
bruh.
I'm
just saying. And then she had the nerve to say,
come on, bruh.
Make sense.
Where you at? Wait a minute. No. Wait a minute. Come on, bruh. What you doing?
And then her husband waved to me a little bit like he was embarrassed when I rolled
You know what that sounds like? You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like the guy from Coming to America. That when all the action fighting went, he said, I would have helped you, but I had a cup of coffee in my hand, and you know how that is.
Yeah.
Folks, that dude, he loses. If I had some, we gonna get Donkey of the Day music in here. If I had some music, I would play some because that dude, she needs to find another husband.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. Make husbands great again. That's what we need. 313-355-6018. I want to hear from you. We're talking about Texas. We're talking about Texas and energy. Are we safe? What happens if the power goes out in Michigan? Are we safe?
No, absolutely not. I mean, you definitely got to have a generator. You got to have some way or form to make heat because, I mean, it's -1 degrees. And we've actually, here, Brandon, we actually did experience some form of power outages this past week.
Yeah.
I know about 30,000 or 40,000 customers were out of power for maybe about 5 or 6 hours. Thank God DTE got it together, but sometimes DTE is not always able to get together. And it's tough that they're the only business in town. I mean, so I think consumers, they do something in some parts, way, shape, or form, and other, Macomb maybe, but you can't have them be the only reliable source in town, unfortunately.
Folks, I got to pay the bills real quick, as always. You are now watching WJZZ, the coolest TV station in the world, cooler than a polar bear's toenails.
That's cool.
Streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Periscope. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment here on The Brice is Right. So, I mean, this is unique. I mean, where do we go from here? I mean, you are, this is interesting. I love talking to you, man, because, and he's got a show, folks. Check him out. What's the name of your show?
Oh, 97.3, The Heat in Grand Rapids. I'm actually the program director.
Okay.
So I had to take a break to support my brother, my homie from another mother.
That's right.
Brice.
That's right.
Brice is always right.
That's right.
Sometimes,
that's right.
unless when I get out here.
That's right. Hopefully not stepchild.
You being good today, though.
I am being good because hey. But you know why so many people like this show? Because it's real, folks. It's not, we don't sugarcoat and all this stuff. We go right into it. We talk about the issues. Yeah. But this is unique because I'm telling you something. 2020, my hope is that for 2021, we can just go back to normal, folks. I mean, we had COVID. We had the rioters. We had the protesters. We had the, now we're dealing with heat outages and energy outages. Folks, we just need a break.
Sounds like end of times to me, Brandon.
Well, maybe end of these times.
Yeah.
I mean, but this new normal, we need something because we need something to bring us back to bringing us back to that shining city on the hill, like Reagan said.
Well, you know what the answer to that is, right? The vaccine.
That's where
you need the sound effect right there.
Folks, for all of my, that's interesting because I'm actually going to bring up some music that you guys may know because this is interesting. The vaccine is a is a very interesting concept. And let me say this, folks. If you need it, get it. I'll be honest with you. Get it. If you're sick, get it. But if you're not sick, and if you're like me and you've got big muscles and, you got the Popeye thing going on and you're healthy, then question it. Ask what's in it. Don't just take it just because somebody tells you, oh, it's taken. Or look at me. I'm the president. Look at me. Folks, don't buy it. I'll tell you, we need to be smart.
They got a song, Brandon.
What's the song? Don't worry, be happy?
No, smiling faces tell lies. So you're going to get all these people with the advertisements smiling, hey, I took the vaccine, because they're going to start basically trying to force this down your throat.
So, folks, when they do it, let me tell you what you do. You tell them, Brandon Brice of The Brice is Right says this. Roll it. Okay, let's see if we can hear it.
No, that sounds pretty scary to me.
Folks, that was from the Twilight Zone. We were trying to get it, but it didn't quite happen. But we'll have it next time. But listen, this is serious. I tell people all the time, be smart, folks, because when we're talking about this vaccine, and I've been critical of it. I've been very critical of it. But it's important that people have it who need it.
Yeah, that's true.
But the other part is, if you're not sick, then question it.
Well, the problem with the vaccine is this, Brandon. People still get the shot, and they can still get COVID. So what the hell am I going to take a vaccine for?
And then you got to get the vaccine. Then you got to get the vaccine. You got to get a second one.
Yeah.
And then if that doesn't work, then people will say, oh, I'm having side effects and all that.
Well, they're talking about boosters already.
Folks, here's the deal. You want to get rid of COVID? Let me tell you how. It's called hot peppers and orange juice. Get you some hot peppers, some orange juice. Eat 3 or 4 of them. Your head will be on fire. But the COVID will be gone. Hey, see, COVID doesn't stick around.
You forgot one thing
with jalapenos.
You got to add that Verner's in.
No. See, Verner's doesn't do the job anymore. Now we need Canada Dry. We need that thing to hit you in your face. Oh! So, folks, listen. I'm telling you, if you're sick, be smart. Get the COVID. Get the vaccine. Question it, but get it. But, folks, if you're not, question it. Ask the doctors, do they know what's in it? And stay healthy. You want to solve COVID? Work out. Get healthy.
Or stay away from folks.
Stay away from folks. Hey, quarantine. Your club quarantine. He's the DJ. He'll DJ it for you. But folks, this is the new normal. And we can defend and fight the new normal, but we got to be smart. You're hearing it here on The Brice is Right. Always keeping it real, bringing it to you one step at a time, and just being honest. I mean, these are interesting times, but folks, I'm telling you, we are smarter, we are better. Wait a minute, wait. Not ready to do that yet. We're smarter, we're better, and we are stronger and wiser in 2021. Folks, we made it. That's right. We made it in 2020.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, a lot of folks did not.
Right.
So now we've got to be stronger. We've got to question everything.
Absolutely.
Don't believe politicians because they said, "Oh, look at me, get it, you get it too." No,
that's probably not even the COVID. Right?
It's probably Peasies or fungi juice or whatever. Placebo. That anyway. But folks, I want to thank you all. This has been another great episode of The Brice is Right. I'm here. I want to thank my special guest all the way from Toronto, Canada.
Pleasure being
my man, DJ Rodney Day. Folks, tune in next week. We got an awesome show. Always in your face. Cameron, step me out, roll me out. And folks, call in. If you didn't get your answer this time, call in next Friday. We'll answer it next time. This is The Brice is Right podcast. Adios. I got to do my Elvis here.
Oh, you good?
Oh, man, this was good,
Oh,
man.
man, it was a good show.
It was fun, man. It's always good having you.
Absolutely.
You know, we just gotta stay in the fight.
Yeah. No, man.
Stay in the fight.
We definitely share the same views, man. And I tell you, man, it's hard for black folks right down in America, man.
Yeah,
But
man.
it could be easy if we make it easy, you know.
It could be easy if we work together.
Absolutely.
That's the challenge.
That is the challenge.
And not believe everything that come off the boob tube. That's that. I mean, literally, whatever people say on TV, like, oh, that's it. And I'm like,
and that cancel culture has got to go. I mean, the black people are the people that can cancel themselves out. I mean, every other culture, whether they're Italians, they're not going to say anything bad about it.